brother, you believe in the Bible? You believe in God? Yes, come and talk to us then. What's your nationality? You're West African. Right. Okay. Has anybody ever told you you're an Israelite? Has anybody ever told you you're an Israelite?
Yeah.
Somebody's told you you're an Israelite.
Yeah.
Somebody's told you about that. What do you believe?
Yeah, I believe in God.
Yeah, but what do you believe? What do you believe religiously?
Why I believe in God?
No, are you Muslim?
Yeah,
You're a Muslim.
yeah.
Okay, so you know that Islam is not of Israelite origin. So if you're an Israelite, you can't be a Muslim. That's not of Israelite origin. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, I understand.
What am I saying? What am I saying?
Yeah, he said that if so I can't be an Israelite.
No, you're an Israelite by blood. But Muslim is a religion. Yeah, but you are an Israelite. I'm an Israelite. He's an Israelite. We have no religion. Our understanding of the world comes from our ancestors, from our writings of our ancestors. Our ancestors wrote, right, our customs and our laws in our book, right? So the things that we have to do is what is written in the writing of our ancestors. So if you're following Islam, the Quran, you're not keeping your customs, you're not keeping your culture, you're not keeping your heritage, you're keeping a religion which is made and formed by the Arabs. Yeah, so what's your name? Augustine, right? So Augustine, you need to return to your culture and your heritage. You're an Israelite. You're an Israelite, yes. Have you ever heard of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob?
Yeah, I know about that.
Right. So the ancestors of the Israelites are Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Right? And Jacob had 12 sons, and they became the children of Israel. And they were given their culture, their customs, their heritage, right, from the Creator.
Is the people in Israel now? Are we Israelites?
No.
Islam should know that too.
Yeah.
Those people only got there in 1947.
Right.
Okay.
The Balfour Declaration.
The land of Canaan.
Yeah, that belonged to the Israelites.
Absolutely. So, if the land of Canaan belongs to the Israelites, and you look into Canaan's racial background, you will see who it is. But they're claiming they've been there for thousands of years. But yet people like you don't make noise about that.
Who?
Like you.
No, what you saying? People.
These people that are there now, killing those Palestinians
Right.
for that land, are saying they've been there for 3,000 years.
That's a lie.
That's a lie.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Canaan, the land, that place used to be called Canaan, the land of Canaan. And Canaan is a black man.
Right.
An African.
We know that. Yes, we know that.
But why do we allow them to get away with it?
No, we didn't allow them to get away with it.
No, we do, because we don't say anything.
No, but what you have to
And that's the
understand.
worst thing that
Okay,
they do.
okay, brother. I'm gonna say this, right. So if I'm gonna have a conversation with you, right, that means I'm gonna let you talk and then finish out what you gotta say.
Yeah.
And then I'm gonna talk.
Yeah,
and
but
then,
I know you want to talk, but I know where you're coming from.
Okay.
I know where you're coming from. You're coming from a Western background, and that can't be right either.
And that's where, and this is where you fail to understand. You believe in the Bible?
No.
You don't believe in the Bible? No. Right. So then you can't understand. You can't understand what's going on.
Of course.
You can't understand what's going on. You can't
Me understanding what's going on and believe in the Bible is two different things, my friend. What are you talking
No,
about? The Bible is a Western
Now,
literature.
what you have to understand is that
That has nothing to do with black people. I tell you what has to do with that.
Okay.
The Bible is built on stolen legacies. That's what.
Okay.
That's where I come from.
What stolen legacies? Tell me what stolen legacies.
What stolen legacies? The African culture. The African culture.
African has many cultures. There's many different nations in Africa. There's many cultures in Africa. Which ones were stolen?
What do you mean there's many countries?
There's many nations in Africa that have different cultures.
All right, I'm going to give you an idea. I'm going to give you the area, what do you call it? Where mankind began.
Where did mankind begin?
It is a vast area, but we know it as Ethiopia, or we know it as Sudan, or we know it as what do you call it? Places like what's it called? Kush. You know, this is where there is so many.
I'm gonna say something.
Why do you?
Without knowing, right, history.
Why do you believe in the Bible?
Why do I believe in the Bible?
Yeah.
Because the Bible prophesies of everything that has come on earth so far. Everything which has been prophesied is everything that's happened on earth has been prophesied in the Bible. Every single thing.
But that was told long before the Bible.
No,
that was told long before.
No,
this is what I'm
no, this was written by one nation of people. This is historical fact.
What is that nation? What is that nation of people?
Israel. The Israelites.
In a minute. No. If they were written by Israelites, who are these Israelites?
Who are they?
Yeah.
And that's the point. The point is who are they, where are they, and what are they doing now?
And the Bible telling you that?
Yes.
So you know who they are?
Yes.
You tell me them. You tell me
where are you from?
Where I'm from?
Yeah.
I'm from a place called Guyana.
Guyana?
Yeah.
Guyana. How did your people get to Guyana? How did the people of Guyana get there?
You have slavery.
From where? From slavery?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm going to tell you, brother. What's your name?
My name is Dino.
Dino.
Yeah.
Dino, you're an Israelite. You're an Israelite.
I know that. I don't need to tell you that.
Yeah,
I don't need no Bible to tell me that.
But you don't need the Bible to tell you that. You need the Bible to tell you what is going to befall you in the last days. Right?
Before me?
The whole of the children of Israel, not just you. All of the children of Israel.
When you're referring to me, you're not referring to me as an individual. You're referring, when you said me, you're referring to me as from a racial part. I am that of the African race. I am not.
No. There's three sons. Listen. There's three sons of Noah, right? Three sons.
What are they?
Ham, Shem, Japheth, right?
What are they?
Ham, Shem, and Japheth, right?
Are they white?
No, they were melanated people, right? They were melanated, right?
And then which race of people are melanated?
Well, there's many melanated people on the
No, there's only one melanated people.
No, there's many.
No, listen. Do you know? This is what this book don't tell you. This is what this book don't tell you. The original, in a minute, the original Chinese man was an African. In a minute, the original white man was an African. The original, Japanese man was an Indian. The original Native American was an Indian. This is what this book don't tell you. And this book doesn't tell you that.
Yes, it does. But where? Have you read this book? No, I'm asking you a question. Have you read it?
Some of it. Yeah, some of it.
What part of it have you read?
Yeah. So what is it you're trying to give me from that book that I don't know?
This is Galatians chapter 4 and verse 26. But Jerusalem, which is above, is free, which is the mother of us all.
Jerusalem is not free.
Read it again.
But Jerusalem, which is above, is free, which is the mother of us all.
Which is what?
Which is the mother of us all.
The mother of us all. So if you're dealing with where mankind.
In a minute.
If you're, let me finish. Because
You're talking
you've spoken now.
Okay.
You've spoken. If you're saying man evolved out of the landmass of Africa, right? Then everybody on this planet, right? All the nations on this planet, at some time in history, has been fighting for one place, and they're not fighting for any landmass in Africa. Explain that.
They're not fighting for any landmass in Africa.
No, they're not fighting for any landmass in Africa.
Of course.
They're not fighting for any landmass in Africa.
What are you talking about?
They're not fighting for any. The only thing they do in Africa is raping resources.
Okay, then, well, in a minute. Who? Then what is this telling us to fight for?
Telling us to fight for our homeland.
Yeah.
This right.
And where is our
writing,
homeland?
Our homeland is where you see that the white people who claim that they are Jewish. You know that place, that landmass, the land of Canaan.
Yes.
That's our homeland, but not just that place.
No.
Let me finish. Let me finish. I'll let you speak. Please let me speak. But not just that land, that little part of land which they call Canaan. The Most High promised us from the river of the Nile, right, to the river of Euphrates. That hasn't been accomplished yet. But every other thing which the Most High has said was going to take place on earth has come to pass. But there's prophecies that are going to come to pass.
And you're referring to who is the Most High? When you talk about the Most High, who are you talking about?
Well, you know him as God, but he has a name. I say Most High because God is just a title. Most High is just a title, but everybody understands Most High, or they understand God, but he actually has a name.
All right. And in this book, and in the religion,
it's not a religion. It's not a religion.
In a minute, has anyone seen God? What God look like?
Well, no, you can't see God because God is what we call omnipresent or omnipotent. He's everywhere. He's a spirit.
No,
so you can't see God Himself. Is not going to come and appear before you because you wouldn't be able to. You wouldn't be able to stand in His presence.
In this book,
any man in flesh wouldn't be able to.
In a minute,
any man.
But in this book, they tell you that they've seen God.
No, they don't tell you. No, and that's what. No, it doesn't say that. You haven't read the book. You haven't read the book, man. You haven't read the book. If you read the book, right, you wouldn't be saying what you're saying.
I wouldn't be saying what I'm saying.
No, if you read
that,
if you actually read it, you wouldn't be saying what you're saying.
I can prove that right now. Because this, you see that person. Listen, look, move aside a bit. They told you that that's the Son of God.
No. They said that. Yeah, but we don't do that.
So why do you have that
this
here?
book?
Why you have that here?
Read what it says.
Read what it says.
Read. No, listen, man.
Read what it says. Read what it says.
What are you? I didn't listen.
Yeah, of course. Look where he's from. People there.
Can I say something to you? What does that mean? Was that look like an African?
No.
So these people is just messing with your head, you know.
You know what it is? The reason why he's white is because you see all the different variants in the Bibles, they were created by people. They weren't created by, they were interpreted by.
No. What you have to understand, right, is the original writings of the Israelites, right, were interpreted and written by Israelites. So the original Christians, they were Israelites, they weren't white, right? What happened is that they were the real Christians. Hold on, let me finish.
They told us.
I believe in all the book of our ancestors. I believe in every book of our ancestors. Every book, right? Let me finish, right? So the original Christians, right? Paul, Peter, James, John, and all their disciples, they were all Negroes, right? So when they wrote what they call the New Testament, there is no such thing as the New Testament. They were quoting the writings of the Tanakh, which is the Torah and the prophets. That's where they were quoting from, right? So when they were persecuted and they had to flee all over the place, and they were murdered and massacred, right? And then we had evil Israelites, just like you got evil people in every nation, and they took hold of the writings, and then they started to make a religion, right? So Constantine, he was another Negro.
There was nothing like Ten Commandments.
I'm an Israelite.
147
religion.
No.
There's 147 gods of Mahan. It's called the Mahan. 147 laws of the Quran. The Western man, then
No, that's Egyptology. That's Egyptology. That's got nothing to do with the Israelites. It's Egyptology.
Then what is Egyptology?
What is Egyptology?
Yeah, then you-
We were slaves in Egypt. What are you talking about, man? We were slaves in Egypt. Yes, we were slaves in
The
Egypt.
white man can do that.
No, it's in our history. It's in our writings. That's Torah. What are you talking about, man?
But from my point of view, yeah, look, I'm a Muslim myself. We don't deny the Torah. We don't deny the Bible. We don't deny the Quran. The reason why we say the Quran is the most preserved book right now.
Yeah, we're not interested in Quran, and the reason why we're not interested in Quran is because it came 600 years after the death of after the death
But it
of our
comes to
Messiah.
confirm, it came everything that it's in your book. And what book is that? What book is that?
Our writings don't
How many times have we-
don't confirm Quran.
how many
Our
times
books
have
don't
it changed?
confirm.
How many times has it been-
How many times you tell me?
Our book hasn't been changed.
No, you tell me how many times you changed.
At least
You tell me
82
at least 82 times. So you haven't got a different version of the Quran. You
Only one version.
only got one version.
If all the- listen, 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 yeah.
Get different books of the Quran.
Okay, then.
Get different books of the Quran, because you got different books of the Quran. Yes, you have facts. Listen, all Muslims do, right, is regurgitate the same rubbish we hear all the time. The same rubbish, right? The same rubbish. What I'm going to ask you, I'm going to ask you a question, right? Now, because the main objection that the Muslims have, they say that the writings have been changed, right? Now, it's been changed, right? So here's the question. The question is, changed from what? Where?
From Hebrew.
You can get it in Hebrew. You can get the writings in Hebrew. There's got scrolls of Isaiah in Hebrew. What are you talking about?
Let me explain it.
Jesus spoke Hebrew.
At the end of the day,
Jesus spoke Aramaic. What do you mean Hebrew?
He spoke Hebrew.
Aramaic.
He spoke Hebrew.
Aramaic.
Okay, get this scripture.
I'm from Palestine.
Hold on.
You speak Aramaic.
One second. Get this scripture.
What Hebrew even about? Hebrew wasn't about when the...
Wasn't it? Read where.
it was about
on the road to
Jesus
Damascus.
spoke Aramaic. It was the Hebrews,
No.
the Jewish people who
No.
denied him as a Messiah.
No,
That's why.
Hebrew was
denying
still
what's
in the
happened to
land.
your people.
Hebrew was still in the
But he
land.
didn't speak
Aramaic was the lingua franca.
Yes.
Aramaic was the lingua franca. That was the business language. Yes, I'm telling you, just like English, just like English is lingua franca. So if I go to France, right, I will find some people who can speak English, but in France they speak French. But you can find people who speak English. So in Israel, at the time when Messiah Jesus, who they called Jesus,
scriptures that say
was
he
on
speaks
earth.
Aramaic.
Yeah, there are scriptures that say that, because I said it was lingua franca, but Hebrew was still in the land. Hebrew was still in the land.
Judaism was
What are you talking about? When they wrote on his cross, right, the God of the Jews, right, it was written in 3 languages. It was written in Hebrew, it was written in Latin, and it was written in Aramaic. What are you talking about?
Okay, let me ask you a question. Is your God different to my God?
How do you mean?
Is your God different to my God?
It's an
It's a
Abrahamic
very,
God, isn't it?
wait, it's a very simple question. Is your God different to my God?
Depending on what you do.
Do you believe in God?
Depending on what you do.
Do you believe in God?
Depending on what you
That's
do.
my question.
No, you asked the question, I'm answering your question. Your question is my God the same as your God? And the answer to it is, it depends on what you do.
Let me explain something.
But only one God.
So you believe in?
No,
Do you
you're saying
So
believe
there's
in?
multiple gods. There's multiple gods. That's
Right,
what I'm
and that means you don't understand.
No, there's no
Hebrew.
multiple gods.
You don't.
brother.
One second. Let me answer the question. It says, so there's multiple gods. That means he doesn't understand Hebrew. It isn't or Hebrew understanding of the creation. He doesn't understand that. And what you have to understand is that even men can be called gods in Hebrew. Even men can be called gods.
Men can become gods.
Can be called gods. Even men. Yeah, and in
That's
that
with every language, though. That's quite a generic point.
No, but that's my point. My point is that there's many gods, so you can't say.
So when you say there's many gods, what do you mean by that? Like, do you
because
actually mean
the word God,
word, yeah.
the word God in the Hebrew, right, which is Allah, which is who you pray to, or Ilah, however you want to
It
say
means
it.
the God. Elah means the God.
All right, and in the Hebrew it just means power, right? The power, right? So
We say it in different phonetics. So you know
yeah,
what I'm saying? We
it's-
say
in
Ilha,
Hebrew it's
or it's
Yahweh,
Allah.
innit?
But basically, ancient Hebrew, which is what we are dealing with, which is paleo, right? The way we pronounced it was different back then. It wasn't the same as they do now. So when we're saying Allah, it means what you're saying
God,
as
yeah,
well, which means the power, because it means His power.
Yeah.
That's what it means,
When
right?
it comes to Christianity,
So-
Hebrewism or Israelites.
Are you guys Christians?
So the outlet,
Yeah, what's your religious beliefs then?
we're not religious. We're not
So
religious.
you believe in God though, right?
Well, yeah, we know. We know the creator.
So then what's your rules for following God?
what is written from our ancestors in
And what's
Torah,
that?
to follow the commandments,
what
Torah, the first five books of Moses.
So you're Jewish?
No, I'm not Jewish.
So I don't understand that. I'm
No,
not too
okay,
familiar with
okay. So
Judaism.
let me explain it to you. Right, there's 12 tribes to the children of Israel.
Yeah.
Right. One of those tribes is called Judah. Right. That's where the term Jewish comes from, because what happened is the kingdom was split. So the 12 tribes were split, and they started to fight against one another. And then the Assyrians came down, and they took the northern kingdom, the 10 tribes, out of the land, took them captive. And the only people that were left there were the southern kingdom, which is Judah. Right. So Judah then was taken into Babylon, right, into captivity, and they were there for 70 years. Then after the 70 years, the king of Medo-Persia, Cyrus was it, right, gave them a command that they can go back and rebuild the temple. So they went back, the Judeans went back and rebuilt the temple. So they built Solomon's temple, yeah, right? And what happened is, then the Greeks came in. We were a vassal state to the Greeks.
If I smoke a vape when you're talking, alright.
No, that's okay. Right, and we were a vassal state to the Greeks, right? And then the Romans came in, right? And then we became under subjection to the Romans. That means we had to pay them.
I'm part of that as well.
We had to pay them taxes, right? And then after that, then we were expelled out of the land. When so in 70 AD, we were kicked out of that. So the term, because I'm trying to explain to this gentleman, he said he didn't understand like the term Jewish. So the word Jewish is coming from the tribe of Judah. Judah. So every Israelite is not Jew. Every Israelite is not a Jew, but every tribe is an Israelite.
Trying to explain, in Islam there's Shia, there's Sunni, there's it's kind of similar with Judaism. They've got different tribes within the religion, and it's kind of like
it's not a religion. No, you're misunderstanding. So wait a second. So you know. Okay. So you believe in Quran, right? Yeah. So it talks about Ibrahim, right? Then it talks about Isaac, right? Then it talks about Jacob, innit? Yeah. So from Jacob came 12 tribes, bloodline tribes. 12 sons, right? And from those sons came the 12 tribes, right? So that's bloodline. So when they're Israelites, right? Because Israelite just means, because you're Israel, which is what Jacob's name was changed to, and you got It at the end of it, which means sons of, right? So when it says Israelite, it means sons of Israel. So you have to be bloodline to be an Israelite. It's not religious. It's not religious. Yeah, we're part of that bloodline. Yeah.
Let me put it down, because I'm Palestinian. So what is that? What is the road cross? Because you said there's 12 tribes of Israelites, right?
So his family comes from.
I'm really Palestinian. So I agree with you. The black people are the original Israelites. Like we're looking at this picture there. They're not the original Israelites. I know what's happening.
But he don't preach that.
Huh? I don't preach that.
They don't preach that. They're preaching Bible.
You don't know nothing about what we teach. You don't know nothing about what we teach.
The Bible teaches them. The Bible teaches them that the white man is sin of God. I can
This is the
prove it to
Bible.
you.
So then,
That says when you see the Son,
attributed to what you believe?
you see the Father.
Is that
No.
part of what you believe in?
This is our
When you see the Son, you
instruction
see
for
the
the children
Father.
of Israel. It's our
Look at
instruction.
the Son.
Follow the Bible.
Is that too much of a new thing?
No, the Bible
They're
is
telling
Torah.
us them seeing
Well,
that.
this is just a translation. It's just a translation from the Hebrew. It's just a translation from the Hebrew.
So that's a translation of the Torah.
That's translation of the Hebrew. Yeah, so it's just all it is the Hebrew just been translated into a language that people can understand, because before I knew
See, that's the thing. There's transliteration, there's interpretation. Like, which one is it?
it's a translation, not transliteration.
Before religion, there was people scattered all over the land.
Yeah.
Now let's talk about this region, the Israel Palestine, this region here.
It's not a religion.
It's
So
not a
it's a
religion.
region.
Okay. So now what's happened is now the blacks were enslaved, didn't it? Pharaoh, this and that. They were getting chased by people.
So what's your purpose then?
Purpose is to raise up the children of Israel to wake them up, because in our writings, the prophecies tell us that we were going to get the curse, Deuteronomy 28, right? We were going to get blessings, and then we were going to get curses, right? And one of the curses, we were going to be scattered amongst all the nations, right? And we were going to be put underneath all the nations, right? And we were going to go into slavery. I want to finish. I can't do with three things at once. That's just madness. That's just what you call, it's just Right, so yeah, it just causes confusion. I can't deal with confusion. Right, so the curses tell us we're going to scatter amongst all the nations. We're going to be put at the bottom of all the nations. One of the curses tells us we were going to be brought into slavery on ships, right? And that we were going to be sold to our enemy. Right now, after that curse, the scripture tells us that we're going to return onto the Creator. But how is the Israelites going to return? We need people, Israelites, preaching what we call the gospel. The gospel is the good news. The good news is that the Most High is going to redeem His chosen people from the nations where He allowed them to be. Right? So read Deuteronomy to me. Read verse 1 and then jump to 15.
Deuteronomy chapter 28 and read it from verse 1.
Right.
And it shall come to pass,
right,
if thou shalt hearken diligently unto the voice of the Lord thy God,
right,
to observe and to do all His commandments, which I command thee this day, that the Lord thy God will set thee on high above all nations of the earth,
right,
and all these blessings shall come on thee and overtake thee, if thou shalt hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God.
Right, so if we listen to the Most High, He will put us on high, right? He will have given us lordship on earth, right? So, 15.
Verse 15. But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe to do all His commandments and His statutes, which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee.
Right. All these curses, jump to 68. This is one of the final curse, the final part of the curse before our redemption, right? So read it. 1 second.
Verse 68. And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships.
Shall what?
And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships.
And the Most High is going to bring us into Egypt again. That means bring us into captivity again. The state that He found us in Egypt. We're going to bring us back into that condition.
So is that related to the Pharaoh?
Right.
Yes.
Right. So he was saying that the same condition we found ourselves in Egypt.
That's the
when
final curse.
That's well, it's our final curse.
Because that's already come to surpass.
That the one where we came out of Egypt. What you have to understand is that the promise to Abraham was that Abraham's seed was going to rule the planet. That was the promise that was given to Abraham, right? So that hasn't come to pass. So when we were in Egypt, right, and we became, so we weren't slaves in Egypt for 400 years, and that's another thing you have to understand, right? Because that's what Christianity teaches, right? We were there for a good 200 years, and we were living that. Because Joseph was second in command.
Where's that? What? The fact that when the Israelites were in Egypt, they were living for Joseph. Where's this?
Let's read the scripture first, and then I'll go to that one.
So, and the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships,
right,
by the way whereof I spake unto thee. Thou shalt see it no more again.
Right.
And there ye shall be sold unto your enemies for bondmen and bondwomen, and no man shall buy you.
No man shall redeem you, right? That word is an old English. That word buy means to redeem, right? So, get the scripture where they're going to Egypt, right?
Where's this coming from? Where's these scriptures coming from?
That was Deuteronomy. Which Bible? This King James version. It doesn't matter which version you read.
It does matter.
You know what I'm saying to you? It doesn't matter. In certain regards, it doesn't matter. There is certain ones that will give you the wrong understanding.
That's where Islam draws the line. It's like
The point is that yeah, but we're not dealing with all the other books. We're only dealing with the other books if it's true to the King James, and the King James is about 90% right in its understanding when it comes to the parchment, to the Hebrew writing. Right, so you're going to lose some things in translation, but you're not going to lose the whole body of spiritual understanding. And we're not interested, and that's what I'm saying, and that's why we're not interested in Islam. Islam is a younger religion. It's a younger understanding of our writing. Here I'm going to ask the question: where is Muhammad's prophet? verse tell me Muhammad's prophet?
For example, when it was revealed to the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he came down and his heart was writing, he recited, right? So what he said, they would write down, that's what he did. He recited in the hadith that within 7 or 8 years of Prophet's run, a Roman battle, a big battle, which would determine the entire empire, they would lose. It was against the Persians in 8 years.
Right, so
Another.
show me.
So I don't have to.
Right, so I'm not going to take it with me. I'm not going to take it with me because I'm going to read.
And that's not me saying to you though. You have certain books, but you yourself have said there's things missing inside the books. Why am I going to believe something that's missing? If someone has written it and it's missed stuff out, I am actually reading it.
That's what we
That's why I believe it. I believe it because it makes sense. There's no making up for
I'm not going to read this because you say.
That's my point. You can ask any Muslim in the world, they'll tell you the same thing. My point would be reference between any Muslim in the world. Look, if you're telling me sitting there saying, yeah, there's some things missing in this book, but none of this, it makes sense. Like, come on.
Yeah, there's kids. You're going to put it in the
Bro, that's like, okay, imagine I sold you a car, but I told you, it's a full car, it all works, but look, there's 2 tires missing. But you can still take it because it still starts, right? Like, you're not going to do that, it's not the full package.
And we're not going to follow Quran.
I'm not trying to make you, I'm just trying to get an understanding.
600 years, right, after the death of our Messiah, Quran was quoted, right? And then another thing, they believe in the writings of Quran, it says they believe in the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, but they don't keep the laws of Moses.
There's not many gods.
Okay, so
Moses, for example, the way Jesus, for example, the way he prayed to God.
No.
How do you pray to God?
How?
Jesus prayed to God. Yeah.
How?
How he put his hands straight to God,
There's
right?
many ways of praying to God. You can stand, you can raise your hand,
You say Islam's only about 600 years, right?
600 years after
Yeah, okay, I hear that. The reason being for that is because when it comes to religion of the past, whether it was Judaism,
but we don't.
Christianity, no. At one point, these religions were correct. But
we
it was
have
correct
no
to be a
religion.
Jew. It was correct to be a Christian.
We were under no religion.
No, this is what I'm talking about. This is just to hear my point. The reason why the Quran came 600 years after because at one point it was good to be a Jew, it was good to be Christian. When the Jews denied Jesus, they were cursed. They were cursed from that. They refused to believe Jesus was the Messiah.
The heads of the Jews rejected him. But we had thousands of people that followed, millions of Jews, millions of the Israelites.
Those people are in heaven right now.
Millions of the Israelites listened to Jesus because Jesus told them that when the Romans come to compass Israel, Judea, that they must flee into Israel. And they believed. So we did not reject him.
No, you're Israelite, not Jewish. So you're abusing me now, bro.
You misunderstand how we develop. Okay. Let me explain that to you in the most simplest terms I can, right? So, when the Most High created the earth, right, He made nations, right? What we are dealing with is that the Most High made nations. He didn't make religion, right? Every nation, right? Every nation, because you believe in Adam, don't you? You believe Adam existed, right? So the Most High spoke with Adam, right? And Adam knew something else, you know. And you know the story of Adam and Eve, how they ate of the fruit of the tree, and blah blah blah, and how now we have curses on earth because of that, right? So from Adam and Eve came all the nations that we see on the earth today, right? What happened is that over time, the nations departed from, the nations spread out, basically, people became different nations, and they spread out, right? And people departed from the Most High, right? There were people that stayed with the Most High and believed in the Most High, right? And followed what the Most High said.
I've tried it.
But some of them went off and did their own thing, and that's why you have so many different gods now, so many different things, right? So many understandings, right? The problem is, right, is that the Most High was never dealing, or God was never dealing with religion, right? Religion came from the writings that our ancestors wrote, right? So Torah itself, right, was our constitution or our law, statutes, and commandments, how we were meant to live on the earth. It was never religion. So
where did those
Where did they come from?
I have a real
Creator itself, So they came from the Creator, right? So those writings, right, were there to teach us how to live here on the earth. They were instructions, because in the etymology of the word, right, Torah just means instructions or to hit the mark, right? So that's what that was given to us to learn it, right? So that we would do what the Most High said, because He gave Israel a covenant, or they had a covenant with Him, right? And a covenant just means agreement, right? So they said, we're going to keep your laws, statutes, and commandments. And that was